Welcome everyone to Saturday Night Hype, and we have got a big matchup here tonight. Simon Belmont against the undefeated in singles competition, Brandon Ulrich, the Ultimate Beast, with Nathan Von Schrader, another contingent of the Forgotten Fighters by his side. I am the Sentinel, coming at you live from the Heath Springs County Jail, because JOSHAGEDDON decided to finally call the police after the helicopter debacle of last week, and as a sign of good faith, I've already paid off these officers, but just as a sign of good faith to JOSHAGEDDON, I decided to spend the night, and we decided to just perch here, and we have to say, great people. The police officers here at Heath Springs, they've treated us very well and allowed us to use their venue here at the PAL building, which is great. And now that we are here doing what we do, Simon Belmont is here to do what he does, and a tremendous ovation for this man who has had nothing but swagger. Coming off of the pre-show of Autumn Asylum, where Simon Belmont ran the gauntlet and pinned or KO'd all three members of the Forgotten Fighters. He knocked out Nathan Von Schrader, he pinned Brandon Ulrich, and he knocked out the one and only Sagat and won that matchup for his team. And you have to give credit to this guy who has persevered amidst all of the adversity that the Forgotten Fighters have thrown in his way. But Brandon Ulrich had a gripe. He said, "You didn't knock me out, and therefore I have not lost." And when it comes to singles matches, Brandon Ulrich is not incorrect. But Simon Belmont, the only one to actually stop this man, after Brandon Ulrich dominated Ken Masters and Johnny Cage in that same Soul Calibur Gauntlet back at the Autumn Asylum Pre-Show, which is on the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for everything CIW past, present, and future. Of course, this Saturday Night Hype is set up for ThanksGrappling IV, actually, which is set to take place on Thanksgiving night next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to put that on your calendars as you're stuffed with turkey and looking for something to watch. This is the place to be. Brandon Ulrich here alongside Nathan Von Schrader, who Von Schrader has not really had that good of a go of it himself, but nearly had a hell of a showing against his former partner in Simon Belmont. And of course, we have to remember that Belmont, the entirety of Belmont even being at odds with the Forgotten Fighters, is that he was once in the Forgotten Fighters last year and decided after Ken Masters beat Sagat in that 20-minute Ironman that the time had come and it was time for Belmont to shine. And boy has he. But Brandon Ulrich, who has learned quite a lot in his time here in CIW, has been very impressive with that Beast Slayer. This one-on-one match is going to be not one-sided, folks. Let me tell you that. This is going to be a very interesting competition. Here we go. As referee Jonah Hill assigned to this contest, and right now just a couple of strikes back and forth. Both of these guys had quite a contest during that same Soul Calibur Gauntlet, but now Brandon Ulrich making a point to say that Simon Belmont did not beat him, and now, oh God, what a shoulder breaker. Shades of Scott Norton shoulder breaker, as Simon Belmont, that leg strength. I mean, it is easily, maybe pound for pound, the strongest wrestler in CIW is Simon Belmont, and Ulrich needed a second to leave the ring, and now a big boot, as we've seen this before, and now, oh God, a punch to the back as now just trying is Brandon Ulrich to gain an advantage here. And of course, we don't want to call him a rookie because he's been around for a while, the former abracadabra in the gut check days of CIW. And oh, there we go, now into the corner, and now just wrenching those knees into the side and the ribs of Simon Belmont. The ribs, a notoriously weak area of Simon Belmont, focuses a lot on leg day. And Brandon Ulrich went to charge in, and Belmont maybe just took a little bit too much time, gave Belmont some opportunity to recover there. As these two, oh, what a power slam. A big power slam from Belmont. And there again, you know, Brandon Ulrich is not a small guy, 6'10", 338, as Simon Belmont, you know, about 6'5", 260 on him. Most of it in the leg area, as we've seen multiple times before. And now a spike pile driver by Brandon Ulrich, the Ultimate Beast. Went to TAW and just pissed everybody off, mostly for doing that and claiming that he was a lot better than he was amidst TAW's talent pool. And, you know, had his moments in the sun, but still, you know, he's a guy who's easy to aggravate, and he doesn't like learning from his mistakes. And there's another big boot, and if Ulrich is really going to have success in CIW, this is a match that he has to win against the one guy that has put him down. Punch to the dick. Take a drink or a scoop of ice cream. Message sent. Yeah, that's right. We've added that to the drinking/ice cream game, folks, because it happens so ubiquitously. And now just wrenching the leg, trying to stop, and it's a hard place to target. But if you can somehow remove the vertical base from Simon Belmont, that makes that Castlevania Crumbler that much harder to hit. And as we said before, this matchup, and a low blow, another message sent, and you can tell that Brandon Ulrich's attitude has not changed and has almost been exacerbated by this entry into the Forgotten Fighters that he has had. And you know that Ulrich is looking for nothing but success here in CIW and has attained it to some degree. But, of course, getting swept by that man, Simon Belmont, was not an easy pill to swallow for the Forgotten Fighters. Neither is that power slam. But can Ulrich here redefine that statement and come up with a victory over Simon Belmont, who has got a lot of momentum on his corner here tonight? Big back suplex, and I hear that Sagat actually wants a matchup against Simon Belmont one-on-one, basically for the same reason, because Sagat said that because Belmont didn't pin Sagat, that Sagat didn't lose, so now they're having a matchup, and that's going to take place at Revelation. Stay tuned for a bunch of storyline shorts. We're not going to do a storyline video this time. We're going to do storyline shorts, and now into the... I was talking about what's coming up, and missed Belmont's bell being rung by Ulrich into that corner, and now still reeling from that and keeping an eye on Nathan Von Schrader, who is just lurking behind that turnbuckle, and Belmont smartly getting back into the ring in relatively short order. But you see Belmont holding his ribs. We talked about that as a weak point earlier. And right now, toe kick. Ulrich, I mean, every shot, he may not get every shot, but the ones he gets, I mean, they are so devastatingly powerful. This man spends a lot of time working on his physique and working on his power game, and what a clothesline. Oh God, top rope. What's Ulrich doing here? An elbow drop right to the bridge of the nose. And I don't know, that might be enough to put away Belmont right here if they beat Belmont a punch to the dick. Message sent. I'm sure Sagat has told Ulrich, and doing a little too much roaring there, I think, is Ulrich maybe getting a little bit too excited. And that is the inexperience, or relatively just the stubborn mentality that the Forgotten Fighters foster in general, but particularly Brandon Ulrich. We have seen that on multiple shows, in multiple situations. But a guy like Simon Belmont, you have to focus. A guy who has already gotten the better of you, you have to focus. If you want to pull out with a win, that big boot helped. But you can see the gut is really starting to bother Simon Belmont, and I don't want to instill a sense of urgency with Brandon Ulrich, but the longer this goes, big toss there from Belmont, the longer it's going to benefit Simon Belmont, who we have seen actively demonstrate the endurance game. And what a swinging neck breaker from Simon Belmont, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Belmont is not afraid to keep digging down deeper and deeper in order to pull out a victory, no matter how bad he's feeling. And a nice back suplex there from Brandon Ulrich, who once again, instead of going for the cover, chooses to roar like a simpleton. You know, it's the Braun Strowman effect. You can't get too into your own game and what you're doing. And I understand the adrenaline of a good primal roar. I'm not trying to knock that at all. And that's just the way that it goes sometimes, but especially in a matchup situation, you need to be smart. You need to know when and where and how, and at what point do you just live to fight another day when you know you have the match won, because Belmont is still fighting. No, wait, oh God, implant buster. What a beautiful move. A tiger implant buster will work just fine. And and see, this is where solo commentary comes to bite me in the keister. because all of the fun technical terms, and now, oh, Belmont just took a jab at Von Schrader. Meanwhile, Ulrich is pissed because Ulrich just took the monitors off of the table that I'm not sitting at. And now right here outside our table here on the outside, and now this might not be a good spot for Belmont to be in because it's 2-on-1 here if Von Schrader decides to get involved, and there it is. But we have also seen Nathan Von Schrader be a notoriously bad corner man who has just stared around and watched. He's hit the wrong guy. It's no offense to Nathan Von Schrader, but being in the corner of somebody is not necessarily the most beneficial thing. Oh, wait a second. What's Ulrich about to do here? And now a big knee to the face. God, and that knee, I mean, that's a heavy knee coming down. That could be a concussion right there. Not to mention the punches to the forehead. And oh God. And Belmont's now busted open. Belmont is busted open, and you can tell that, oh, he's not feeling good, but still fighting is Simon Belmont, who's taking the time to wipe the blood out of his eyes, but Ulrich is not letting him let up. And that is a smart move from Ulrich, but he's got to get him back into the ring and close this out. But Belmont is not letting him. He is not letting him, and now back and forth go. Now I guess Von Schrader, who gets thrown into the ring as well, and now this time vaulted into the corner as Brandon Ulrich, every time he seems to try and take advantage, Belmont digs even deeper. And we've seen Simon Belmont, the second he gets busted open, it seems to light a fire under his ass. We've seen that happen many, many times. And you got to admit, it's smart of Belmont to do it too. Oh, and Ulrich almost went up to the top. Speaking of smarts not doing it, instead going for the boot. Folks, this is a Saturday night hype match leading up to ThanksGrappling, where we have our Tournament of Champions to determine the #1 contender for the CIW Heavyweight Championship at Revelation that Symbiote Spider-Man holds. It's going to be every former champion in two triple threat matches, and the winners of those two matches are going to meet in the main event. Oh, wait a second. Ulrich, don't do this. And oh, God, Beast Slayer onto the table, through the table, and Belmont is down. And if Ulrich gets back into the ring, that's probably enough for the count-out victory right there. And now, and now's the time that Von Schrader decides to get involved. And you have to imagine if Von Schrader didn't do that, and he's not even stopping him from getting into... Nate, come on, dude. This is what happens. Folks, this is what happens when you are too drunk to corner man. This dude has had 20 dust boots. It's his ritual every time. He can't even see straight. He doesn't even realize what's going on in this matchup, I don't think. And meanwhile, Ulrich now still grinding the forehead of what is guaranteed to be a very, very damaged Simon Belmont. I mean, that Beast Slayer through the table, if that had been in the ring, that was it. I think if he goes for a cover here, it's over. But you have to imagine Ulrich wants to get there. Oh, and he missed! Charged in and missed! There is still life in Simon Belmont. And Ulrich, he must be looking for a Beast Slayer in the ring, but this now has lit a fire in Simon Belmont, who somehow is still fighting. Clothesline. Now, oh, up to the top goes Belmont. And an elbow drop. We saw Ulrich do that earlier. As Belmont is gaining a little bit of momentum here. Can he dig deep and beat the Ultimate Beast, who has not lost a singles matchup up to date? Big boot. And that might derail it. If he can get that Beast Slayer in, this will end the match. But Belmont, counter, and now just working on the arm, trying to stop that Beast Slayer. Boy, what a matchup this has been. But Belmont, he has taken so much punishment. And a low blow, another low blow, and just looking at the prone opponent is Ulrich, but he really has to make a cover. And this is a Sagat level move. We've seen Sagat do this too. Just continue the non-stop punishment, be a dick about it, and it ends up costing you in the end. And if Belmont does end up winning this match, it will be more because Ulrich didn't know when to put him away. Big elbow drop from the top lands again. Boy, what a matchup this has been. all leading up to that match. And we also have two major matchups. The rematch between Abizzle and Prince of Persia for the ABP/Exceed Championship. That happens at ThanksGrappling. We also have Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. Huge matchup. Wait a second. Castlevania Crumbler. Center of the ring. Pin him, Belmont. You have the match won. The cover here. 1, 2, 3. He got him. And Brandon Ulrich falls for the first time in singles action to a bloody Belmont. He got put through a table with the Beast Slayer. He got thrown all around the ring, and it didn't stop Belmont. This is the type of guy that you beg for in your wrestling companies, and Simon Belmont answered the challenge and delivered in a big way. What is Sagat gonna have to deal with at Revelation? But folks, we will see you on Thursday night for ThanksGrappling 4. Take care, everybody.